Hey, welcome into another show, the Palmetto Sports Talk preview show. This week we'll be previewing Week 6, which we are finally getting to a full slate of games this week. Last week was pretty interesting week. We had a bunch of mid-level games that looked really good. Almost had some upsets. Had some upsets. Um, you know, in-state team Clemson beat North Carolina State, and South Carolina lost by 1 point. I mean, not much you can say there. It was a heartbreaking loss, but we will move forward. Um, we're going to get into some reviewing of the games this week. Clemson beat North Carolina 50-35. It was the first game Deshaun Watson has started, and he looked good. Even if UNC is one of the 10 defenses this worst in Carolina's this year on paper, um, they look really good. Clemson passed for 436 yards. All that. I mean that was pretty good against North Carolina. And, Sean Watson had 435 of them yards. Was 27 to 35. Had 6 touchdowns. Record-breaking. Setting performance. The 6 touchdowns were 1 interception. Really good. But Clemson did allow 394 yards to the air from North Carolina. North Carolina attacked. Clemson didn't have that good of a showing on defense, but I think the players understood that, and they'll go into the next game looking ready, to play. Overall, thought Watson looked good. A bunch of his passes, the wide receivers were wide open, but other than that, the zip that he had on the ball just looked really well. Mike Williams and Hopper had a great game, but Clemson right now, the only thing they're lacking is a running back. They're running back by committee, but they're rarely getting 100 yards rushing. They get there, but it's just a little over. But I think this Clemson team, I got North Carolina State, Louisville after that. Smooth sailing the rest of the way to last game of the season. South Carolina lost a heartbreaker. Usually I have a 24-hour rule to get over our losses, but I'm still not over it. I just, I'm not over it at all. Losing by 1 point, I think, I was talking to a buddy in the stands, and I told him, I was like, we're winning this ball game, but I feel like we're losing. Coach's staff just had a bad game plan. Defense, tip my hat to you, because, played at your best game. I think it's the best defensive performance that we've had in about a year or so. Defensively, we stopped the pass. We couldn't stop the run when we needed to, but we held Missouri to 132 yards passing and a total of 148 yards rushing. But it was just a bad game 'cause we were up. I think it was 10-7, and then scored again. I think we had 2 scores late, and 2 scores back to back, and got up 20. Didn't go for 2. I'm not gonna blame it on that because there was other things that played a factor in it. But it's like the defense just got relaxed. And you can't relax. You're not that good to relax. And lost 21-20. It's a heartbreaking loss. Thompson had his worst performance of the year, 21-37 for 219 yards, 1 touchdown. Davis had 22 carries for 104 yards and 1 touchdown. Cooper had 3 receptions for 52 yards and 1 touchdown. Cooper is doing it really well. Guys that were absent were Shaq Rowland. He just didn't show up, and there's just not much I can say about him right now. I just trying to figure out where this guy's at. Review of the other games though. Georgia beat Tennessee, 35-32 in a close game. I'm starting to think Georgia will go as far as Todd Gurley goes. I still don't think they're that good. If Todd Gurley goes down, Georgia's done. But Tennessee's a force to be reckoned with. They're very young. I think they're going to contend next year in the SEC and going to be really good. Oklahoma State beat Texas Tech in a shootout on Thursday night, 45-35. UCLA beat Arizona State 62-27. Just destroyed them. Brett Hundley's still battling that elbow injury, but he looked good. Notre Dame beat Syracuse 31-15. Notre Dame's still looking pretty good. Florida State struggled, was down 24-7 against North Carolina State, but rallied back to beat them 56-41. And A&M and Arkansas win the overtime, and A&M beat Arkansas 35-28. Now to previewing this week's games. 3:30, we got Clemson versus North Carolina State at Clemson at Death Valley. You got Deshaun Watson coming in, who's 56 for 77 on the season with 72.7 completion percentage and 914 yards passing, 10 touchdowns and 1 interception coming in, and he's ready to attack another defense that's just showed that they collapsed too as well against Florida State with North Carolina State. This game I got a feeling though it's gonna be close in the first quarter or two, but Clemson's gonna pull away, and it could get ugly. I think. I just don't see much. NC State can do. Jacoby Brissett is 115 for 167 on the year for 1,364 yards with a 68.9% completion percentage, 13 touchdowns and 1 interception. He's looked good, and you got to contain him because he's rushed for 156 yards, 1 touchdown. We saw against Florida State what this guy can do, and he's looked really, really well, so far this year. North Carolina State has like 3 running backs. I don't really know who you would call the leading rusher. Shedrick Thornton, Matt Days, and Tony. Can't really say his name. Starts with a C. But they all 3 are averaging over 6.1 yards a carry and had over 26 carries this year. So Clemson better watch out because combined it's like 700 and something yards rushing together. So Clemson better watch out. They got a good receiver, Bo Hines, 24 receptions, 312 yards, 1 touchdown this year. But the key to the game for Clemson, they just got to make sure that they don't get complacent, go out and fight. I do got Clemson winning this game. Like I said, I think they'll pull away. Deshaun Watson have another good game. Maybe they'll find out who their elite running back's going to be. But I think they can contain Jacoby Brissett. That's the key to the game. Just control him. And I think Clemson wins 38-24 Saturday at 3 o'clock on ESPN. To the next game, we got the beaten, battered Gamecocks coming in, going to Kentucky actually, 3-2. This is a trap game. I mean, it could have been a trap game early in the year. I guess you can't say it's a trap game now, but it is. I mean, Carolina can lose this game. I believe that. It's just, I'm not sure where this Carolina team's heart is right now. You got Thompson, who's 109 for 179 on the season, 1,368 yards, with a 60.9% completion percentage, 12 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Mike Davis, 88 carries for 368 yards. He's done all right. For him and Brandon Wiles, though, you got to get them both going to be successful. And then you got Farrell Cooper, who him and Nick Jones have been really good together, both 24 receptions and Nick Jones 22 receptions. They've been really good. I think offensively for the Gamecocks, they gotta start running the ball more. When Thompson's he's not on, or the receivers ain't on, you gotta put the ball on the ground. I think Carolina can get 3 yards a carry, get the first down. That's the key. You can get 3 yards per carry, you got a first down. I think they can do that. But Kentucky, Patrick Towles has been really good. He's a dual threat guy. He's been really good on the year. And then they got 2 running backs, Braylon Hurd and JoJo Kemp, that can run the ball in between tackles and break outside and got some speed with them. They got 2 good wide receivers, Ray Timmons and Garrett Johnson, are really good. But Mark Stoops has done a really good job with this Kentucky defense. They played really well this year. They lost an upset. Had an upset going and lost to Florida in triple overtime, 36-30. But I really think that South Carolina's got to watch out in this game because they could lose. Steve Spurrier's got to come in the game plan. We struggle every time we go to Lexington. 2010, we were up big, end up collapsing and losing I think by 3 points, right after we just had beat Alabama, the #1 team in the nation. Then 2012, we were down at halftime and had a late surge from Lattimore and the defense to come back and win that game. But it's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna come down to the wire. I got Carolina winning, 31-27. I'm just, I'm still not confident right now the way this team played. I mean, I've seen signs of greatness against Missouri and Georgia. They're there. Defense has got to keep improving. If they can come out and beat Kentucky pretty good, though, I think this team could, go into the bye week, get some rest, play Furman, and then they're ready for Auburn. It's gonna be a big game. But that's my predictions for the in-state schools. Both schools right now, I just don't think they're there. I mean, Carolina and Clemson are 9 in the top 25, and Carolina dropped out of top 25 for the first time. For the first time in 69 weeks. I don't know if I'm sure they'll get back, but it's going to take a while to get back to that streak, So they're starting from the bottom. Some other big games this week. We got A&M versus Mississippi State. That's going to be a big game. I don't know my score predictions for these games, but just as of right now, I'm going to go with the upset. Mississippi State. Dak Prescott. I think Mississippi State takes A&M. I was high on Mississippi State in the preseason. And I think Mississippi State takes this game here. Ohio State versus Maryland. Maryland's got off to a good start in the Big Ten. And it continues. Ohio State will lose again. I think Maryland wins this game in an upset. It's upset week. There's a bunch of upsets. I'm just now getting started. Oklahoma versus TCU. That's number 4 versus number 25. I think Oklahoma does win this game. I don't think this is the upset. Number 14, Stanford versus Notre Dame. It's going to be a really, really, really good game, actually, if you look at it. But I think Notre Dame comes away with the victory. LSU at number 5, Auburn. I think Auburn wins this game. I just haven't seen much out of LSU to starting another freshman quarterback this week. I think Auburn is going to win this game. Nebraska versus Michigan State. Michigan State will handle Nebraska, I think, handling. It's the number 10 versus number 19 matchup. And then for the big upset of the week, and one I have called all off season, is Alabama going to Oxford, Mississippi. I got Ole Miss is going to win this football game, I think. I may be wrong. It may be a blowout, but I just think Ole Miss has everything it takes to win this game. But I will get my score predictions soon. But that's it on this week, and I hope everybody has a safe work week and gets ready for Saturday. Gamecocks get revamped. Fans, it's not over. Season's not over. We're 2 games behind Missouri, 1 game behind Georgia in the East. Everything's still up for grabs, baby. Clemson, enjoy Watson while you got him, because he's a 3-year guy probably. I mean, the NFL scouts are drooling over him. I'm enjoying watching him because he's really good. Someone fun to watch. But y'all have a great week, and please comment or tweet me at gcdixon13.com. Thank you.